This is Bing Crosby. Maybe you know him from this Christmas album, or maybe you don't know him at all, but you definitely know his voice.
I'm dreaming of a white...
What if I told you I believe he's the reason for this, and all this? Think of your top 3 favorite Christmas songs. I'm willing to bet that a majority of you would have at least 2 songs from the 40s or the 50s, but why is so much of our Christmas music from this era? I have spent the past week researching and digging to answer this question, and how it relates to war, Hollywood, and Coca-Cola. So, let's discuss. The year is 1941. The attack on Pearl Harbor just happened, but 17 days later, on Christmas Day, Bing Crosby would perform White Christmas for the first time on his weekly NBC radio program. This song was written by composer Irving Berlin. It later went on to become one of the most highly grossing songs of all time. This song was not the holly and jolly that we normally associate with Christmas music today. Irving wrote it about his son, who just died at 3 weeks old on Christmas Day. It's a song about grief, loss, and longing that, unfortunately, resonated with the American people of the time. White Christmas eventually appeared on a 1942 film called Holiday Inn, and ended up winning an Academy Award for the song. This is really where the song started to pick up steam. Almost exactly 1 year after the US declared war against Japan, mothers, sisters, daughters were missing their husbands, brothers, and sons overseas. Especially during Christmas that was all about unity and family. The country didn't necessarily want a song that was all about how amazing the gifts were or about how fun sleigh rides are, but more just longing to be with the ones that you love during this time. But also you need to understand that at this time, Christmas was not nearly as commercialized as it is now. And that change was kind of kicked off by White Christmas. The entertainment industry didn't really capitalize on Christmas. Apart from A Christmas Carol, there wasn't a whole lot of media on Christmas. It didn't seem like a good marketing strategy because the holiday season was just a short season throughout the whole year. But the entertainment industry really saw how much it was connecting with people, and it was selling like crazy. So now we have these jazz crooners and singers of the 40s and the 50s trying to get in on that craze. Every year after 1942, a new classic would be written. These songs were instant classic hits that were immediately put into the record players of American homes. Because before then, Christmas music was all religious music, but now we have these songs that are focusing on family, love, and tradition more than the actual religious meaning behind the holiday. This made this music attractive to every American home that celebrated this holiday. But Christmas is so closely tied with memories and nostalgia. After the 50s, all this music had already been made and it was part of the Christmas tradition in homes. Now after that, if someone made Christmas music, it became harder and harder as years went on to get put on that playlist because we already had it. Like when I go and listen to Christmas music, I want to hear the stuff I've heard before. I don't necessarily want to hear something new. Every year since the 40s and 50s, pop musicians have been trying to get their music pushed into the holiday scene. But it's a really, really hard thing to break into. But the reward of successfully getting a song off the ground is huge. Christmas is so closely associated with its music. And every year when Christmas comes around, you'll get a spike in revenue and you'll get a spike in streams. But now it's almost impossible, with a few notable examples since the 40s and 50s, like with Wham, like with Paul McCartney, or really recently Mariah Carey. She's known as like the Queen of Christmas now because she had a song that came out pretty recently that absolutely blew up. And I think right now it's the most popular Christmas song, and it has been for a while, since it came out really. But those are the exception, not the rule. I think a majority of Christmas music that we think of was made in the 40s and 50s, even if it was recorded by another artist. And that's another thing, Christmas music is so commonly covered. Because this music is so closely tied to nostalgia and we like the Christmas music that was written back then, it kind of doesn't make any sense to put all the effort into writing a new one. So a lot of artists are covering old Christmas songs. Just recently, Lauve, how do you pronounce it?
So yeah, Leve.
Leve. So take a recent example like Leve, who just recently put out her music video for her cover of Santa Baby. And she's a perfect example of someone that should cover a song like this. Her style and her brand has always been kind of this callback to nostalgia, called back to an older time. And she very much has that theatrical Disney princess kind of jazzy voice that we associate with this time. Christmas is so closely associated with being cozy, things being warm, and the song from the 40s and 50s, that is a correlation. Early recording equipment and recording with things like ribbon microphones or playing back with vinyl records all gave a certain warmth to it and a certain timelessness to it. It sounds so organic, so warm, so dreamy, and that's all things that we associate with Christmas time. The 40s and the 50s were perfectly suited for Christmas music. It was a time where we felt so divided and wanted to feel unified more than ever. It was a time where there was a complete open market for this kind of thing. It was a time where TV and radio was on the rise and American popular culture as a whole was on the rise. So out comes these songs associated with this holiday that are singing about timeless things like love, family, and unity. Everything that was sang about back then is still applicable today and are still things that we associate with Christmas to this day. Like, I don't really know many people that are wanting like new Christmas music. I like the Christmas music we have now. I think a lot of us are very happy with it. It's what we associate with Christmas, and once you grow up, when you think of Christmas, when you think of nostalgia when it comes to Christmas, it's your childhood. And that's what we listen to as children, so that's what we associate with Christmas. It's what we're gonna play for our children, and it's what they're gonna associate with Christmas. I think absolutely in 100 years, I think Christmas music is gonna change a lot, but Christmas music is really something that is perfectly designed to be evolving slowly. And again, I think we're really happy with that. I think there's a lot of things, especially now, that move so quickly. Fashion trends, music genres. So much of the global network today is quick, fast, you're in, you're out. But every year we kind of come back and listen to these old songs and we're all just reminded of a time that we successfully overcame. And a time full of loss, yes, but also a lot of things that we gained in that time. The Christmas music that we would listen to as a kid is what we associate with those happy Christmas memories. Christmas feels so magical to a kid. And every year for Christmas, a little part of us wants some of that magic back. And that's what Christmas music gives us. It's no secret that I love vintage music, especially from the 40s and 50s. It has such a distinct sound. It's so dreamy. It's so characteristic of the time. But more than that, I love Christmas so much. It's one of my favorite holidays. So put them together, I have such a big passion for Christmas music. I absolutely love it. Let me know what Christmas music you guys like to listen to or what you listen to with your family. Also, let me know in the comments any weird family traditions that you guys have during Christmas. I know growing up in a family that was full of tradition, there were a lot of things that I thought were perfectly normal, but not every family did. So I'm kind of curious to hear what your family does every year. Tradition is so important to life and keeping history alive. I love living in this era. I love living in modern times, but I also love exploring back then. There's so much we can learn about ourselves, and there's so much stuff we can take now and use for the future. Oh, also, I can't believe I haven't mentioned this yet, but we hit 1,000 subscribers. That's great. I haven't been doing this for that long, and I've already hit 1,000 subscribers, and for that, I'm so incredibly thankful. It's crazy to think that over 1,000 individual people took time out of their day to not only watch my video, but then also scroll down and hit the subscribe button. I love making these videos and I love talking about these topics. I love music history, I love production, engineering, and the music industry. And it makes me really happy that you guys love it as well. You guys have put your faith into me, and I want you to know that I'm going to try everything to make these videos better and better, making them more often, higher production quality, longer, more in depth. There's a lot more content to come your way. Even with the holidays coming up, I'm not planning on slowing down at all. This is what I love to do, and I would love to make this my career. And you guys are getting me just that much closer to that. So, thank you so much. Thanksgiving is coming up, so I wish you all luck there. Like, comment, subscribe, engage, all that good stuff. And happy holidays. I'll see you in the next one.